You're listening to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List on 93 WIBC.
Welcome to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List. My name is Kyle Hawk, and I will be your host today. If this is your first time joining us, our show is all about providing you, the listener, with tips and advice when it comes to home, health, and lifestyle topics. We get all of our information on this show straight from qualified service providers and subject matter experts. And last week, we really came clean with a talk all about house cleaning with the help of Heather Argenti of Moving Ahead Cleaning in the Cleveland, Ohio area. And I tell you what, if you're dealing with clutter and general mess around the home after the holiday season, you're going to want to tune into this episode and check it out. You can find it by subscribing to our podcast on iTunes. Just pull up iTunes on your home computer or pull up the podcast app on your smartphone and search for Chat with the Experts. You'll find all of our shows there. If you hit the subscribe button, you can stay up to date on every single show as we release it. And of course, you can also now find our shows on YouTube and watch videos of the interviews that we do. We've got cameras set up right now, and we're interviewing this taking video of this as I speak. Go to youtube.com, search for Angie's List. On our channel there on the video page, you can find all of our videos there. And of course, you can find our podcast and the videos at angieslist.com. And if you're looking for a house cleaner to help you get organized after the holiday season, or maybe a home organizer to help you put some hopeful, manageable systems in place, or any kind of service provider, you can find what you need at angieslist.com. If you hit join now today and use the promo code WIBC40, you get 40% off an annual membership, which is under $10 for the whole year. It's a great deal. Check it out at angieslist.com. Well, now that winter is upon us and colder temperatures have set in, you may be tempted to hide under the blankets until spring arrives. However, just because there's a chill in the air doesn't mean that you can't accomplish some tasks around the home or even take some preventative measures that can make a world of difference and keep your home from needing big repairs this season. So today we're going to take a look at some of the common things that you should be aware of. And joining us to help us out and give his advice on everything from ice dams to siding is Duane Ward, president of the David Hazen Group in Indianapolis. And since 1992, the David Hazen Group has been providing roofing, siding, gutter installation, wood repair, ice and snow removal, drain pipe installation, and much, much more. Duane is an all-around home improvement pro with a lot of really great information to share, especially when it comes to caring for your home. Duane, welcome to Chat with the Experts.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, in addition to all these things I list, like I said, snow removal, ice removal, and here in Indianapolis this week, we've been having a little bit of snowy weather, and you've spent some time out plowing snow. You sent me a picture on my phone. It doesn't look like the funnest job in the world, but I don't know. Give me from your perspective, is that a task you enjoy doing?
Actually, at the beginning of the season, it's somewhat enjoyable.
Okay.
But as the season wears on, it just becomes dreadful.
Yeah, I imagine it can become pretty cumbersome.
It was okay yesterday.
Yeah. Well, before we get started here, like I mentioned, you're president of the David Hazen Group. Tell me a little bit more about your background. How did you get involved in doing home improvement and construction work?
Well, I got involved in construction early on, and I actually came down here from Michigan and met with got together with a partner of mine, and then we met David while we were working in the field, and David was looking for some guys, and we started working for David, and then we kind of took the company into a different direction. So covering all the new aspects.
Right. Yeah, and the company obviously covers a lot of different work and has been going strong and growing over the years. Today we want to talk about a bunch of different winter-related home projects and problems that could potentially pop up for a homeowner. And one big issue that we know a lot of homeowners face is ice dams, and we're going to spend a little bit of time here talking about that. But before we really get into it, tell us, for anyone that doesn't know, what is an ice dam actually, and how does that form on your home?
An ice dam is a buildup of ice at the eave of your roof, generally. It's formed from improper ventilation or insulation. So ice and snow will melt on your roof, trickle down your roof, and then gather at the gutter typically and freeze back in the gutter where it's very cold.
Yeah.
And it builds up over a short period of time, and then you have what's called a dam. And then any time that the snow or ice above that melts and trickles down the roof, it has it can come into your house and cause rot or mold.
Yeah, it's one of those problems that once it starts, it just gets worse and worse. And, this time of year, snow isn't necessarily an unusual sight to see up on your roof. So how do you know if you actually have an ice dam? What do you need to be looking for as you're down on the ground?
Well, look for a hump at the eave, and that'll give you a pretty good idea if there's a large hump at the eave of your roof, or if you have a dead valley area. You can see a buildup of snow or ice in those areas. When you see that, you should probably think to contact a professional.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely something to be checking out regularly as opposed to waiting for damage to actually take place. If I go outside, I look up on the roof, and I see that I do have an ice dam forming. What can I do to remove it at that point? What happens?
Okay, you will want to start from the bottom up. So what you'll want to do is break off as much ice as you can without damaging the roof or the gutters. And when you get a lot of the snow and ice broke up, you can rake the snow above it off the roof. So any snow above the dam will be raked down off your roof. So you'll kind of prevent more ice buildup.
Yeah.
And then once you break it off and rake the snow off, you can apply a calcium chloride pellets to the gutter and get the gutter working again.
Yeah.
And then once the gutter is working again, you can continually take some more snow off. You can work the melt up the roof.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, this is obviously a problem that you want to act on quickly, but if you don't, if an ice dam is left alone, what is some of the damage that it can actually do to your home?
Well, I mean, if it's left alone, you can rip your gutters off. It can lift your shingles. It can do some damage to your shingles, and then obviously it can get inside your home and damage your drywall and your ceilings, and sometimes you don't even know it.
Yeah.
So sometimes if it sits long enough, it can cause mold.
Right, and that's exactly the reason we were talking about, getting on top of it early, finding out that you have a problem before you start seeing it on the inside of the home. You mentioned how they form and talking about building up around the gutter or the eave there. How large of a role do the gutters play in the forming of an ice dam? I mean, is this an issue where if you're not cleaning your gutters out regularly, it's going to present more of a problem?
Yes. You want to have your guttering system running well before the winter hits, so it can take the water away from your house as it's designed to do. So, because water can really tear up your house, if you hold the water up from leaving your roof line or your downspouts or your edge of your roof, it'll tend to back up fast, and the ice will build up faster, and then it'll get heavier, and then you're left with maybe gutters torn off or leaks in your roof.
Yeah, it can really turn into a serious issue. You talked about what you can do, I guess, if you're feeling brave enough to get up on the roof and start chipping away at it. But for a lot of people, they're probably going to want to hire a professional for that sort of job. What kind of cost is somebody looking at to have somebody come in and do an ice dam removal on their home?
A typical ice dam removal is probably going to cost you between $300 and $500.
Okay.
And it would be multiple trips. Usually, you don't get it done in one trip. You'll have to come at least twice, more than likely 3 times.
Yeah.
So that would be your total cost for a 3-trip visit.
Yeah. We talked about the gutters playing a role. Are there other things that you can do as far as, other than cleaning out the gutters over the long term to ensure that ice dams aren't going to keep reoccurring on your home? Yeah.
If you get a new roof, you can install a barrier. It's called Ice and Water Shield. And when we put new roofs on, it is a good idea to put them down at the eaves, especially in the areas are trouble. The north sides of the roof are typically trouble because they don't see a lot of sun in the winter.
Right.
So they stay very cold.
Yeah.
So
definitely something to ask your contractor about as you think about your new roof and ensuring that it's going to last as long as it should. It's time for us to take a short break here on Chat with the Experts, but we're just getting warmed up today. When we return, we're going to talk with Duane about how to care for your chimney, your siding, your windows, and a whole lot more during the cold winter months and keep your house in top condition. Stay right here. You're listening to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List.
Introducing the all-new Angie's List app, your on-the-go resource for great local service. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can access ratings and reviews, shop offers, and request scheduling assistance from the palm of your hand. Submit and stay up to date on your projects. Redesigned and easy to use, the new Angie's List app makes getting more from your membership simple and convenient. Anytime, anywhere. Download the free Angie's List app on iTunes today.